with his first car, and Josephine Cochrane was ruminating on what may just be the most brilliant idea ever, the dishwasher, that our Italian peasant got swept up in the march of progress. And what a wild ride it has been. The past 2 centuries have seen explosive growth in both population and prosperity worldwide. Per capita income is now 10 times what it was in 1850. The average Italian is 15 times as wealthy as in 1880. And the global economy, it is now 250 times what it was before the Industrial Revolution, when nearly everyone everywhere was still poor, hungry, dirty, afraid, stupid, sick, and ugly. The medieval utopia. The past was certainly a harsh place, and so it's only logical that people dreamed of a day when things would be better. One of the most vivid dreams was the land of milk and honey known as Cocaigne. To get there, you first had to eat your way through 3 miles of rice pudding. But it was worth the effort, because on arriving in Cocaigne, you found yourself in a land where the rivers ran with wine, roast geese flew overhead, pancakes grew on trees, and hot pies and pastries rained from the skies. Farmer, craftsman, cleric, all were equal and kicked back together in the sun. In Cocaigne, the land of plenty, people never argued. Instead, they partied, they danced, they drank, and they slept around. To the medieval mind, the Dutch historian Herman Pley writes, modern-day Western Europe comes pretty close to a bona fide Cocaigne. You have fast food available 24/7, climate control, free love, workless income, and plastic surgery to prolong youth. These days there are more people suffering from obesity worldwide than from hunger. In Western Europe, the murder rate is 40 times lower on average than in the Middle Ages, and if you have the right passport, you're assured an impressive social safety net. Maybe that's also our biggest problem. Today, the old medieval dream of the utopia is running on empty. Sure, we could manage a little more consumption, a little more security, but the adverse effects in the form of pollution, obesity, and Big Brother are looming ever larger. For the medieval dreamer, the land of plenty was a fantasy paradise, an escape from earthly suffering, in the words of Herman Pley. But if we were to ask that Italian farmer back in 1300 to describe our modern world, his first thought would doubtless be of Cocaigne. In fact, we're living in an age of biblical prophecies come true. What would have seemed miraculous in the Middle Ages is now commonplace. The blind restored to sight, cripples who can walk, and the dead returned to life. Take the Argus II, a brain implant that restores a measure of sight to people with genetic eye conditions, or the Rewalk, a set of robotic legs that enables paraplegics to walk again, or the Rheobatrachus, a species of frog that became extinct in 1983, but, thanks to Australian scientists, has quite literally been brought back to life using old DNA. The Tasmanian tiger is next on this research team's wish list, whose work is part of the larger Lazarus Project, named for the New Testament story of a death deferred. Meanwhile, science fiction is becoming science fact. The first driverless cars are already taking to the roads. Even now, 3D printers are rolling out entire embryonic cell structures, and people with chips implanted in their brains are operating robotic arms with their minds. Another factoid. Since 1980, the price of 1 watt of solar energy has plummeted 99%. And that's not a typo. If we're lucky, 3D printers and solar panels may yet turn Karl Marx's ideal, all means of production controlled by the masses, into a reality, all without requiring a bloody revolution. For a long time, the land of plenty was reserved for a small elite in the wealthy West. Those days are over. Since China has opened itself to capitalism, 700 million Chinese have been lifted out of extreme poverty. Africa, too, is fast shedding its reputation for economic devastation.